Hi, my name is Michael.
And I'm Nami.
And welcome to Mike.
And Nami Plus. It's been so long since we last sat down and filmed a talk video. I don't even think we filmed one when my hair was black.
No.
We missed my black hair, we missed my half and half hair, and we missed my blonde hair. And we just skipped straight to rainbow hair.
We had a viewer ask us through email a question that we thought would be interesting to answer. She says, I had a quick question about the chemistry between your relationship with your hubby. I'm raised Christian, and my boyfriend is a new Christian. We've been dating for over 2 years, but recently I had become afraid of us not being compatible anymore because our personalities are just so different. I'm more type A and outgoing, like you, while my boyfriend is very type B, methodical and quiet, and really prefers a simple lifestyle. Like
You're
what
more
I think.
spontaneous than methodical, though.
Am I? I haven't really
Naturally.
structured. Naturally. Yeah. How do you two get along, even with different ideas of what fun is and such? Have your interests ever been a conflict in how you two spend time together? What kind of tricks and compromising have you guys picked up in your marriage so far? And also, congratulations on the baby girl.
Thank you.
She's such a blessing.
She's so cute.
So you can think about it.
No, I already know.
You already know? All right, take it.
The easiest way, too long to read version. Number 1, half of it will be compromise. Number 2, half of it will be common interests. I love spending time with people. Michael hates it. I love crowded places. Michael hates it. And so half the time we'll choose, okay, we'll go home early. Or half the time we'll choose, okay, we'll stay a little longer. So it's like we kind of compromise
that does work out, yeah.
to see like where our kind of capacities are. Like,
Right.
Okay, you've been too much around people, so you're kind of stressed. So like today we absolutely have to go home. Okay, and then like I've been too drained and too like alone and I haven't talked to anyone, then like I absolutely have to stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we kind of switch over like that. Like we take turns compromising for each other. And then also we find common interests that we can enjoy together. For example, for several years we had times when we really enjoyed watching drama, suspense, not really mystery, but more like suspenseful, like story-driven movies.
Yes.
And we used to watch one like once a month.
That was like a hobby that we did.
It was a hobby with us, like together.
A shared hobby.
Yes.
And you need to develop those things.
Yeah, you do need to develop those things.
Shared
And
hobbies that
you have
do
to
together.
know what you can do together
And also
try
have individual
different things.
hobbies where you have your own long time away.
It's like a Venn diagram. Can you make a Venn diagram? My interest, his interest, and then you find this little overlapping interest.
And then you kind of balance the 3.
And you balance the 3 because you can't have all of your downtime or hobby time spent together. That will exhaust both of you. You need your time to enjoy your individual hobbies and then also have time to enjoy your together hobbies.
Wow.
Actually,
you got it.
This is from our
10 years
couple
of,
counselor.
Oh.
Yeah, she told us like in the beginning of our marriage. Do you remember?
Forgot. No.
You forgot? I told that just stuck with me forever.
Great.
Because there was a
That's good
time
investment.
in the beginning of our marriage where you played a lot of Left 4 Dead, which is like a
video game. A zombie apocalypse.
Team-based zombie game.
Yes.
And it's like a survival game. And I would often just sit there and just watch you.
Yes.
I would ask questions about it. So I would learn more about his interests.
And you're not really that big of a video gamer.
No.
You're definitely not a zombie shooter video gamer.
That's like way off
but
my...
you took the time to just sit beside me and learn about the game and watch.
Yeah, and also like
great.
hear about your friends and talk to your friends a bit. Like showing interest too. But then that doesn't mean I'm going to go sit there and play it too.
Yeah, so there's that aspect of being present.
Being present.
And supporting.
One of my biggest hobbies is reading manga. And that kind of translates as you showing interest when I find a really good one that actually is also animated, then we'll watch the anime together. And that's really fun. The most recent one we watched was 약속 no Neverland, which is The Promised Neverland. It's really good. I highly recommend anyone to watch it if you like kind of dramatic suspense.
And that was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But then...
it didn't last long, but it was half a year.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
That was a too long didn't read version? No, too long didn't...
Yeah, too long didn't read.
So this is the long version then. So I'm going to be taking this from a textbook a bit because for us, I feel like we just communicated and argued and kind of struggled through our total opposite polarities in our interests. I guess starting with the idea of, well, you, in your question, you say that you have been dating for 2 years. So in 2 years, you've kind of got to know each other quite a bit, your strengths and weaknesses, interests, dislikes. And so when you first started the relationship, I'm assuming that you guys liked each other. There was an attractiveness that you saw in each other that drew you together or drew an interest for you to come together and establish a relationship. What's interesting is that in the beginning that we're drawn to each other based on opposites. It's kind of like the idea of the opposites attract phenomenon. But psychologically, that's actually proven false. Opposites actually detract than attract. Initially, it may appear that they attract
due to curiosity or...
Yes. Or it's like, oh, that person's charismatic, I'm not. People, on average, we don't actually seek the ideal mate. If we had a pen and paper and you can list 10 characteristics or 100 characteristics of your ideal mate,
the most you would get in a person is half of that list.
Yes. Only one person in 5 to the 10th power, which is 1 in 9.8 million.
What?
Will meet your requirements.
9.8 million? So it's not even 1 in a million. It's like 1 in 10 million.
Yes. Only 1 in 10 million will meet your requirement. Mina just woke up. She's crying. So Nami's going to go over there. And therefore, chances are you're going to have conflict. You're going to have differences in your hobbies, differences in your likes, or things that you dislike, how you like to spend your time, free time.
How you do things and how you get annoyed at each other.
Yeah.
For the way that you do minute little things around the house or whatever.
And that's where we get back to what you mentioned about conflict. It's important to conflict and argue because that can draw or allow for opportunity to understand each other. And now, don't get me wrong here. I don't mean conflict like verbal abuse or physical abuse. Like that, like, no.
It's just disagreements or different ways that you do things.
Arguments can be helpful. It can be healthy. And it can lead to understanding each other.
Yeah, not even arguments, just like disagreements.
Disagreements.
Like, we need to stay after church. No, we need to go home after church. That's a disagreement.
Yeah. And then you kind of break it down. Why, how, yeah. Actually, about 70% of divorces result from low conflict marriages and 30% from high conflict marriages. So it's more likely, whenever a divorce happens, it's more likely that it happened because there was a lack of communication than there was conflict with too much communication. Because what does conflict do? Well, you share ideas, thoughts, worries.
It's never a bad idea to over communicate.
Yes, you share your dreams, satisfaction, intimacy, where you're going.
His hand is on my knee. So sudden.
Henry Cloud and John Townsend, in their book Boundaries in Dating, they just simply state, dating has its risks, and therefore maturity is of absolute importance. It works best between two responsible people because dating, there's time, money involved, and you have to be responsible with that for each other's time and resources. So relationships grow in a healthy manner only as they undergo experiences, and there's no shortcut to experiences.
Yeah.
So you're asking about, you've been together for 2 years now, you're seeing these differences and maybe you're only one side is compromising or one side doesn't really want to do anything or you just couldn't find a way to mesh each other's social circles or hobbies, and you find yourself drifting apart a bit. Now, I think one thing that is important to note is that in this relationship or in your differences in hobbies, if the relationship gets rid of one's individual life and friends, time and space altogether, then that is a mark of an unhealthy relationship.
Right.
Right?
It's like isolation. Self-isolation or implicated isolation.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side is having a balance, being together. I guess they have to sacrifice. You can't always just be with friends and time away from the relationship. You have to have that balance.
Yeah.
And
Venn
this
diagram.
is the Venn diagram. And
Make
this
a
is
Venn
where communication is so important. Figure out what's going to be in our Venn diagrams.
I think the most important thing to remember as well is you're not acting to offend or hurt each other or to be selfish. A lot of it is just misunderstanding, and a lot of it is just misconsideration. The inability to consider the other side's situation.
Right.
Because you only know what you know. You only know what you know yourself and what the other person has communicated. Because you can't read minds.
It's the way we approach the same
Situations.
situation.
Yeah.
And you might look at it at a different lens.
So just because he wants to go home doesn't mean that he wants to sabotage all my friendships. I never considered that maybe his pants are too tight and he's feeling stressed.
My pants are too tight. Yeah,
That's what happened in prom. You didn't dance at all, so I didn't dance at all because your pants were too tight. Because he gained weight because he was stressed because he was with me.
I'm sorry.
Stress eating.
I ruined
No,
your
I'm
prom.
sorry.
I ruined your prom.
No, I ruined
totally
your
did.
pants because I made you stress eat.
I do stress eat.
Yeah. So it's all of these other external factors. It's not because they want to sabotage your life.
Right.
So I think first and foremost, taking a very objective approach to your discussion and seriously like trying to have no hard feelings.
Exactly.
Like explaining where you're coming from.
And
but
then you have to make a decision. This is very important. Let go of the offense and the need for revenge or perfect justice, right?
Oops. My 4 times Nami revenge.
Yeah.
He pokes me once, I tickle him 4 times.
Yeah. Set limits on what can change. Set limits. Forgive what will not. And evaluate if the relationship is one you want to base on those 2 aspects.
Where'd you get that?
Boundaries in dating. Now I want to conclude with this Real Marriage by Mark and Grace Driscoll. If a marriage is between 2 selfish people, it will be cold and functional. If a marriage is between a selfish person and a servant, so only one person is doing the compromising, the marriage will be selfish and abusive.
I'm sorry.
If a marriage is between 2 servants, it will be increasingly uniting and satisfying.
Good job.
And dating, and I know you 2 are dating. You're not married, and so it's not as high stakes, right? Because when you're married, you're united financially.
More on the line. Yeah.
Maybe living in the same place, so residentially.
Maybe you have dependents.
Familially, in-laws, and then work, community, friends. You can't really. This is a bigger stakes, higher stakes.
Yeah. But I think it's important to view every dating relationship in the same seriousness because...
You're dealing with people.
Yeah, you're dealing with people and you're dealing with...
a person. And you're dealing with emotions and you're dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
And it impacts your future and their future. So I wouldn't devalue. I wouldn't say a marriage relationship is of any higher value than a dating relationship.
I would say you should view every relationship you have, even with your siblings, in the same light, almost. I mean, you're not looking to live with your siblings for the rest of your life, so obviously a partner in a romantic way would be more important in that sense, but every relationship, we're always dealing with people.
So I wonder if we answered her question. My question is, how do you 2 get along, even with different ideas of what fun is and such? Have your interests ever been a conflict in how you 2 spend time together?
There was a time I feel like I had a little bit of a mini crisis with our hobbies. I felt like we didn't really
spend time together, get to know each other.
I think that happened like right after we got married, because we spent a lot of time together when we were dating for 3 years.
Yes.
And then after we got married, we both kind of diverged into our own hobbies.
Right.
But I think after speaking to the counselor, like that really shed
Yes.
light, the Venn diagram.
Yes.
And then within that mini inside,
yeah.
that is our common ground, and then we make compromises.
And that was professional help, and take opportunities or invest in opportunities where you can get professional help, third party. So we spoke to a professional marriage counselor. We'd also have mentors.
I want to thank you even for sending us this email, because this is your first steps to resolving these issues that you have or think that you are struggling with, is to find people who you can gain wisdom or advice or knowledge from, whether it's your peers, whether it's mentors, whether it's family members, whether it's adults you respect.
Yes, I guess find people who are more experienced with relationships and who have wisdom, who you look up to.
Yeah.
Who you trust.
So thank you for trusting us. We hope that it was an adequate response. And if you have any suggestions for this topic, please leave it down below in the comments. Perhaps it'll help someone else out. And we always love to read your different opinions or even just life experiences. It always helps us as well, learning from you.
Yeah.
Or if you have any other questions that we could tackle in the next video, please leave them down below, and we will see you next time.